Hey guys, it's Jada. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to be talking about the Kindle, pros and cons, some recommendations, my TBR. So here she is in all of her glory. She is so pretty. So in terms of my Kindle, this is the Paperwhite 11th Gen 6.8 screen. I think you've got the option of 6.8 and 6-inch screen if I'm not wrong. I decided to go for the 6.8 just because, I don't know, I just like the size of this more. And you also have the option of ads or no ads. I did end up getting the version with ads, but I did get Amazon to remove it for me for free. So there's a little hack for you. Also included with it was a 3-month Kindle Unlimited subscription. I would recommend to check Amazon regularly because they have deals on for Kindles all the time. Luckily, when I was just browsing Amazon, they had a deal and I was like, I have to do it. So I got it, but definitely check Amazon because they do deals on Kindles quite a bit. So now I want to talk about why I actually got my Kindle. As a person, I think I definitely prefer physical books to reading digitally, but I have always wanted an e-reader for as long as I can remember, but I just never really got it. During my uni days, I did get an iPad. The main purpose of my iPad was to read the assigned readings from my seminar leaders and my professors, but I decided to also read for pleasure on there as well, because why not? And I actually really liked it. You know, I noticed that I was getting through books super quickly. It was convenient if I didn't have a book at home and I just wanted to read something. But the size of my iPad, huge. So even though it was good for reading at home, if I wanted to read it on a train or on a bus, absolutely not. It was, yeah, it's not great for that. For reference, here is the size of my iPad, as you can see. And here's my Kindle. So there's a big difference. Whipping this out on a train was very awkward and very uncomfortable, but this, so convenient. But yeah, that was the main reason. I just wanted something that was a bit more convenient. And also I found that I was getting really bad headaches from reading on my iPad. I've got weak eyes anyway, and just reading on my iPad was making it 10 times worse. So I decided I had to make that switch. Okay, so now I want to get into the pros and cons of the Kindle. I'm going to start with the cons just to get them out of the way. But to be honest, there isn't really any real cons. But I just thought I could put a couple out there anyway. So the first one I'd say is that there is a slight lag, but, and this is a heavy but, when I say lag, I don't really mean that it's slow. I just mean that it's not what you're used to. If you're used to reading on your iPhone or your iPad, there's different technology, so it's a lot slower. So I don't really want to say lag, more so it's less responsive. But of course, it is an e-ink device, so its technology is specifically designed like that. And to explain the science behind it, with e-ink tech, there's actual physical particles, like pigment particles, which when you turn the page, those particles rearrange. And you can literally see it happen before your eyes. Obviously, this is in comparison to an iPhone where it just goes on and off. But you know, that's one of the reasons why the Kindle can go so long without having to recharge, and why it's so good on the eye, and just all around it is designed that way to make it a reading device. So yeah, when I say lag, I don't really mean it's being slow, just more so its technology is different and it is a lot less responsive than what you would expect if you are used to reading on your iPhone or your iPad. If you do find that your Kindle is actually lagging, like proper lagging a lot more than it's supposed to, it's not supposed to do that, so definitely get that checked out. And I guess the only other con I can think of is that it's not a physical book. You know, one of the main reasons I love reading is just the experience of having a book and touching it, just physical books. I love physical books. And of course, you don't really get that with a Kindle or any e-reader. So I wouldn't really say it's a con. I don't really think it's a con. If you are very dedicated to reading physical books, then I guess that's something you have to think about. Okay, so now let's talk about the pros. Firstly, convenience. Its size, very convenient. As you can see, it's very small, like very small. And this is the 6.8 one. The 6-inch one is even smaller. So the size, with how compact it is very convenient. You can just put it in your bag if you're, if you're traveling, if you're going to work and you have to catch the train or the bus. It's so convenient to just pull this out and read. So that is definitely one of the things I love about it. Secondly, it's made for reading. You know, there's a backlight, there's no glare, it doesn't give you headaches. All in all, the experience that you get when reading this is a good experience compared to reading on an iPad or an iPhone. There's a lot of settings in this as well. You know, adjusting the brightness, turning it from light mode to dark mode. It's got a lot of settings and features that makes the experience a lot more enjoyable. And that is something that I really like about the Kindle. Thirdly, the battery life. I have to say, now I haven't used this Kindle a whole lot, but with how much I've used it, I would have expected to have to recharge it at least once, but I haven't. I don't know why, but yeah, the battery life is great. On my iPad, the battery would drain so quickly and I'd have to recharge it multiple times, but with the Kindle, you really don't have to, and I'm so grateful for that. The final thing, I don't know if this is a universal thing, but for me, whenever I read on my Kindle, I get through books so quickly. I don't know why, I don't know the science behind that, but I get through books super quickly. And I love that because I do want to be reading more and I can hit my goal and read more books in a month. So that is something I really like. Okay, now I want to talk about Kindle Unlimited. Is it worth it? So as I said, my Kindle Unlimited was part of the deal. So it was 3 months free. In terms of if I'm gonna renew the subscription, I'm not too sure yet, and I'll say why. So even though there is a wide range of books on Kindle Unlimited, I would say vast majority of it is from indie authors. Not that I have anything against indie authors, but I just assumed Kindle Unlimited meant like every single book is on there for free. I don't know why I assumed that, but that's not the case. There are a lot of books on there. The catalogue is very big, so you will find a book you like, you will, but that doesn't mean that you'll find every book you're searching for. So that is one thing. If you're into indie romance, you will really like Kindle Unlimited. So I would definitely recommend it. In terms of like mainstream books, you can find some on there, but some others are difficult to find. You know, I found some great classics on there, but there's a lot of others that I really want to read on there and it's just not. I would say my advice is if you can, try and get the trial first before committing to Kindle Unlimited. Try and see if you can get a deal. I think that would be the best way to go about it because I don't know if Kindle Unlimited would suit everyone. I'm not too sure how much it is monthly, maybe £10 or something, I'm not too sure. But definitely I'd say try and see if you can get a free trial first just to see if you like it. So now I'm going to give some Kindle Unlimited recommendations. So firstly, I'd say the Kings of Sin series or the Twisted series. I know this series isn't for everyone and I know a lot of people do not like ANYWHO's books, but I would say just give it a go. I didn't think I'd enjoy the series, both series. I haven't finished them, but I'm close to finishing them and I didn't think that I would enjoy them, but I was pleasantly surprised and I don't know, I liked it. And I'm pretty sure every single book in both series is on there. The next book or series that is on there is The Risk. This I think is dark romance. Surprisingly, I'm not the biggest fan of dark romance, but I did like this. To put it simply, the main character is a serial killer and she's getting revenge on her perpetrators. I love a good revenge book. So I would recommend this, and if you're into dark romance and you haven't read this, I'm sure you will like this. The next book I would recommend is There Are No Saints. This is also in a series, I think it's a duet. The plot of There Are No Saints is basically a serial killer falling in love with a girl, pretty much. This book also does have, I think, trigger warnings. I can't really remember. It's been a while since I read it, but check them out. Put it simply, it's a serial killer romance. So do with that what you will. The next book I'd recommend is 1984 by George Orwell, one of my all-time favourite books. So in case you didn't know, 1984 is a dystopian novel and it explores themes of totalitarianism, control, unthinking obedience. It's one of my all-time favourite classics and dystopian novels. So if you are interested in getting into classics, I'd 100% recommend 1984. Now I want to talk about my Kindle TBR because I do have quite a few books on there that I'm so excited to get into. The first book is The Enchanted Sonata. This is a book that's been on my TBR for so long because of recommendations from Emmy and some other YouTubers. Everyone who talks about this book talks about how it gives you such a warm feeling, you know, that kind of fairy tale element. It's just something that I love when books are so nostalgic and warm. So I'm so excited to read that book. The next book I want to read is There Is No Devil, which is the second book in the Sinner's Duet. Honestly, I've waited way too long to actually pick this book up, and it's a mistake I always do, starting a book and taking forever to get to the next one. But conveniently, it's on Kindle Unlimited, so I am definitely gonna get to that soon. The next book that I think I want to read is The Fine Print. Now, I'm very 50-50 about this. There's a lot of good reviews, but there's also a lot of bad reviews. Then again, I enjoyed the Twisted series and the Kings of Sin series, and that also has bad reviews. So I actually am thinking of just trying it out, just delving into it, seeing if I like it. If I don't, I won't read the rest of the series. But I think that is one that I do plan to read. The final book that's on my TBR for now is Flawless by Elsie Silver, which I think is a Chestnut Spring series. I'm not too sure, not that well acquainted with this series. When I read the plot description for this, it sounded so interesting to me. Like, I've never read anything like that. So it's about a girl who works for her father's company. I think it's a public relations company, and her task is to follow around a controversial bull rider. And I'm guessing there's a romance between the two. But honestly, I haven't read any cowboy romances or anything of that type. And I think I would really enjoy a cowboy romance. So actually, I am very excited for this. I'm hoping I like it. I've got a lot of friends who've read it and they really like it. Yes, that is all from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it interesting. Maybe it helped you with your decision on getting a Kindle. If you have any other questions about the Kindle, about specific, I don't know, specifications or some of the settings, you can comment it below. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment and subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you again in my next one.